Today, we're diving into the story of a car that tried to completely rewrite the script for a brand known way more for value than it was for, adrenaline. This is a true underdog story, the Kia Stinger. To really get what makes this car so special, let's just start with a quick question. Seriously, when you hear the brand name Kia, what's the very first word that pops into your head? For a lot of us, it's probably something along these lines, right? You're thinking reliable, sensible, maybe a great value. A solid, dependable car, but probably not something that gets your heart racing. Okay, but what if I told you that same company, the one you're thinking of, set out to build what reviewers would later call an underrated, luxurious alternative to German competitors? I mean, that sounds like a completely different brand, doesn't it? Well, that's exactly what went down. This isn't just a story about a cool car. It's the story of how one single vehicle was designed from the ground up to change a company's entire reputation. See, the Stinger wasn't some random idea Kia had one afternoon. Nope. This was a dream. It was a long-held ambition that was literally years in the making. And they let this dream simmer for a long time. It all started way, way back in 2011 with the Kia GT concept car. That planted the seed. Then in 2014, they dropped the GT4 Stinger concept, hinting at an even sportier direction. But it wasn't until 2017 that the final production-ready Stinger actually launched and the dream became a reality. And you can tell this wasn't just some marketing ploy. It was personal. You can hear it right here in the words of Orth Hedrick from Kia Motors America. He called it a dream car for us that became real after years of hard work. This thing was a passion project through and through. So how in the world do you go from making sensible family cars to a high-performance machine that can actually challenge the very best in the business? Well, Kia knew they had to learn from the experts, and that meant looking straight to Germany. Kia didn't just want the Stinger to look fast. They needed it to have legit performance credibility. So where did they take it? To the ultimate proving ground, Germany's legendary and incredibly punishing Nürburgring circuit. They spent years there tuning and refining it. But their secret weapon wasn't just a German track. It was a German mastermind. Get this. Kia went out and hired Albert Biermann, the guy who used to be the head of BMW's legendary M division. His job was to inject that authentic, high-performance DNA right into the heart of the Stinger. But it wasn't only about raw, brutal power. The chief designer, Gregory Gliam, was really clear about this. The Stinger was meant to be a true Gran Turismo, a car for exciting long-distance drives. It was all about finding that perfect balance between power, luxury, comfort, and, grace. Okay, so that's the backstory and the philosophy. Now, let's get into the metal. Let's look at the car they actually built, where the beauty of that design met the beast of the engineering. And beast is definitely the right word. We're talking 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in just 4.7 seconds for the top model with the twin-turbo V6. That is seriously quick. That's putting you squarely in the territory of its German rivals. And let's break down the heart of that beast. That 3.3-liter V6 wasn't just quick off the line. It was pumping out 272 kilowatts of power and 510 newton-meters of torque, and it would keep pulling all the way to a top speed of 270 kilometers per hour. I mean, these are numbers that demand respect. But here's the real magic trick of the Stinger. On one hand, you had a genuine performance car, right? Rear-wheel drive, big Brembo brakes, powerful engines. But on the other hand, it was a totally sensible sedan. It had this awesome fastback design with a huge trunk, a quiet cabin. You could actually live with it every day. It was truly the best of both worlds. And that practicality wasn't just a feeling. I mean, check this out. The Stinger's wheelbase, that's the distance between the front and back wheels, was actually longer than key rivals like the Audi A4 and the BMW 4 Series Grand Coupe. And that translates directly into more room on the inside, making it a surprisingly comfortable place to be. So Kia went and built this incredible car. But did it work? Did anybody actually notice? Well, that brings us to the final part of our story, how the Stinger completely changed the conversation around Kia. The answer to that is a huge, resounding yes. The experts definitely noticed. The Stinger started racking up some seriously prestigious awards, including a Red Dot Best of the Best for its design and a spot on the super coveted Ward's 10 Best Engines list. This was proof that Kia had built something truly special. At the end of the day, the Stinger became the car that put the entire performance world on notice. It was this loud, clear statement that Kia was no longer just a value brand. They could compete on style, on luxury, and, most shocking of all, on pure, unadulterated performance. And that really brings us to the big, lingering question this whole story raises. The Stinger proved a car could be so much more than just a car. It could be a statement, a real catalyst for change. But can one single model, no matter how amazing it is, truly and permanently change a brand's DNA in the eyes of the world? Now that is something to think about.